Well, we begin with a sad story from Anambra State, where earlier in the week, 4 staff members of the United States Embassy in Nigeria on a humanitarian mission in Anambra State were shot dead following an attack on their vehicle on Tuesday. The incident happened in the Ami Eke Oshuche communities in Obari local government area of the state. Reacting to the development in a statement following an inquiry by our correspondent, the spokesperson for the Anambra Police Command, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, said the hoodlums murdered 2 of the police mobile force operatives and 2 staff of the consulate and set their bodies ablaze alongside their vehicles. He added that no U.S. citizen was in the attack convoy. Yeah. So I have 2 gentlemen joining me on the story tonight. In the studio with me, I have Justice Ojeno. He is a lawyer. Welcome.
It's my pleasure to join you.
All right, I have via Zoom Olufemi Lawson, Executive Director, Center for Public Accountability. Olufemi, good evening. Well, welcome to the show.
Good evening, Professor.
All right, let me begin with you. You know, the insecurity situation, especially in the southeastern part of the country, is really worrisome. Do you think the attack on the convoy of the U.S. Embassy staff was premeditated, especially as the motive for the attack is yet unknown?
Well, good evening once again. In actual fact, this what happened in Anambra State a few days ago is just one of the many incidences of insecurity that has been witnessed in the country, particularly in the last couple of weeks. Only in the same week where the staff of the American Embassy in Nigeria were attacked in Anambra State, scores of our citizens were killed in parts of Nasarawa, Plateau, and of course, Kaduna State. And it tells you that it has gotten to a very point where life has become so cheap, brutish, and I don't know how to define it in Nigeria. Why this seems to be attracting so much attention is because of those involved, because it has to do with staff of the consulate in the country. But the truth is that within the same period that this happened, a lot of our citizens have been killed. Sadly, it is just one of those numerous cases of unknown gunmen, that have terrorized the southeastern part of the country, and of course those known terrorists that have killed a lot of our citizens across the country. It is very terrible that even after 8 years of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, we're still talking about this mindless killing of our citizens, just like we witnessed in Anambra and every other part of the country in the last few days.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's because of there are talks and concerns based on the whole concerns generated so much about this whole thing. And people are saying, like you said, it's because it's the convoy of American Embassy and all of that, knowing fully well that that very place or Nigeria or you can think of every other part of the country has been flooded with a lot of violence beforehand. How do we get to begin to value the life of Nigeria, knowing that everyone's life matter here? Mr. Olufemi Lawson, are you there? All right, I'll come back to you. Let me come to you, Justice. I'm sure you've heard what Mr. Olufemi Lawson is saying, that this is generating so much concern, so much talks, because, it involves the foreigners here in Nigeria. The question is, why do we still have such thing happening? And, why don't we, apart from talking about it, why is there no solution, especially when it concerns life of a Nigerian?
Okay, let me even start with the value of life. The corpse of an Israeli citizen, the Israeli government can do anything. They can practically give anything in order to be able to take the corpse. I'm not talking about the life. the American citizen too. And sometimes when you communicate to the international stage the value of your citizens, both in your country and on the international stage, the people too, the international community too will be forced to help you respect your citizens like that. It's the way the Nigerian government has treated the average Nigerian so far that has made the Nigerian passport basically be without value. Thank God now that we have an Abike Dabiri that is putting in her best on the international stage to be able to maybe get us some more value. I pray that people who succeed or the next government, maybe our foreign minister and our president, will do things on both locally and internationally to ensure that the average Nigerian is really, really respected. The fact that this happened to American citizens, to a large extent, there is serious treason in the fact that the kind of attention that this is having is because it involves American citizens. But it's not peculiar to Nigeria. If it happens to an American citizen anywhere in the world, it will be given this kind of attention because the Americans and the American government has communicated to everybody in no uncertain terms that we value our citizens and will give anything in exchange for our citizens. We've seen trade-offs both with Russia when they trade spies. We saw the basketballer that was exchanged not too long ago, I think about 1 year ago. We saw spies too that they do from time to time. So if the Nigerian government, if they treat the average Nigerian very well, everybody that dies, we don't take it with a pinch of salt. We don't just make it a news headline. We tackle every such challenge that demeans or devalues the average Nigerian. I think Nigerians will be better for it all across the world.
All right, Justice, you also agree with me that this is not the first time foreign representative is being attacked here in the country. I'm looking at the repercussion because Nigeria has a responsibility to protect our foreign diplomats. You know, we have that responsibility. What's the repercussion like? Okay,
major repercussion is for FDI, foreign direct investment, will definitely take a serious nosedive because if businessmen are coming into the economy and they are bringing their hard-earned money across the world, they need to be sure that they are safe. Aside the fact that they are concerned about their own safety, they are also going to be concerned about their own investment, the safety of their investments. So that's the first thing that will take a hit. Humanitarian fronts too. People who work in bodies like the UN and all the Oxfam and all these international organizations, they will not be quick to come into the country to help with some of the major challenges that we are having. For example, the IDP scourge that we now have as a result of these insecurities, the Red Cross and all these organizations that come to help, they will not come. And if we start failing on the economic front, we start failing on the fact that, okay, we don't even have people who want to say they want to come for tourism, for example, which is the mega cash cow for a lot of countries, including the US. We are worse for it. So that is why security must be nipped in the bud. It must be given serious priority. For the incoming government, I think it should be one of the things that they should consider the most at this time in order to ensure that people who have these monies, that this economy is in dire need of, they bring the bags of money in order to ensure that everybody smiles to the bank, everybody prospers, both the Nigerians and the investors.
Mr. Olufemi Lawson, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Let me also have your take on this. You know, this is not the first time representatives of foreign organizations have been attacked in Nigeria. I'm looking at the repercussion of this whole thing, knowing that Nigeria has the responsibility to protect its foreign diplomats.
Well, it's a big indictment on our national security. If you recall that in several parts of the Northeast, the Boko Haram insurgents have abducted, killed a lot of foreign aid workers in that part of in the northeastern part of the country. And this is happening in the Southeast now. So just like you said, it is not the first time that we're experiencing this. And it tells a lot about our national security policy as a country. It tells a lot about the confidence that foreign countries, investors, and the likes will have in our country as an investment destination, as a tourism destination, as a place where they can travel to reside or do businesses. This tells a lot on our national security and our integrity as a nation before the international community. And that is why this should be taken, because what if there have been Americans who are stars of the American embassy on that convoy that was attacked in Anambra State? It could have been one of those movements where you have the American citizens who are staff of the embassy, in the convoy. So that the victims are Nigerians should not in any way make us underrate the implication of this on our image as a nation, on our, on the perception of other countries about how secure our country is. And it's a very major assessment of how well we have fared as a country as far as our security challenges are concerned over the last couple of years. So it's a major issue as far as the foreign impression that we have is concerned.
All right.